The Master Tavern Keeper's History of the Old World.
Yeah. Whew. That was good. Whew. Well, that is all of the apprentices done. Except one.
Come on, Apprentice Morelli. Surely, with muscles like yours, you're the man to show old Heinrich what for.
See.
Yeah, try me. I've been looking forward to this one. Oh, you are a big boy, aren't you? But that won't help you. Well, hold my hand then, and let's begin.
Down you go.
Oh, yeah. Whew. Well, it's all in the wrist, don't you know? This, the arm wrestling is not just a brawn, although that helps. Rather, it is a technique. You did very well, young apprentice. I think you just need some more practice.
Well, I, for one, am impressed. Although, I'm not that surprised.
Yeah? Do you not wish to try yourself, Master Tavern Keeper? I hear you have quite the reputation in this particular arena.
It's true. I do enjoy a bit of a tussle. But there is a price that needs to be paid first, I think. I insist that you, Heinrich, finish the voyage of Marco Columbo. The dawn chorus will soon be upon us. Please, get to it, man.
Yeah, fair enough. That is a very good point. But I will not forget, we will have our bout. But in the interim, let us continue. So, we had just reached the point where Marco Columbo had received his famous magical talisman, the so-called Gem of Lustria. The next few weeks were spent repairing their ship. It had received such a mauling during the encounter with the Norse, and suffered greatly as a result of the devastation caused by the skink priest's comet, that the old Pintolaga could barely be called seaworthy at all. It was in serious need of some tender, loving care by way of the carpenter's hammer. But before I go on any further, I just want to mention something slightly tangential.
By all means. Tangents have been the theme of the evening, so I see no reason to stop now.
Yeah. You're not wrong, although each has been both fascinating and enlightening. Well, on to this latest one then. Much like the expedition's encounter with the Kraken soon after heading into the deeper waters of the Great Ocean, Marco gave scant mention of the way by which Vegir the Sacrificer and his Norsemen had been defeated in his official account of the voyage, as you can hear here.
Several weeks passed. Even with one ship and only half a dozen guns, I succeeded in chasing 3 passing Norse longships and recovered various sacred objects, which had been looted from the cities further south.
This off-handed retelling was again for the same reason as always. Anything that did not paint Colombo in the best light was always omitted from the official records. In this instance, it was the intervention of the lizardmen that had effectively won the day, rather than Marco's tactical acumen. And he felt that this simply would not do for the readers back home in the old world. To his mind, his readers would only be satisfied by a homegrown hero as they read of distant shores and exotic sights. And such heroes have got to be strong, they've got to be fast, they've got to be first in the fight. In this clash with the Norse, Marco had not been any of these.
Ah, indeed. What you do in the world is really of no consequence. The question is really this: what can you make people believe you have done? That is the truth of it, and that is the truth that you will leave behind, be it true or not.
Yeah. Nonetheless, upon reading Marco's memoirs years later, my grandpapa was extremely disappointed that the valiant exploits of the crew and the sacrifices that they had made were so casually disregarded. It was perhaps the source of the gulf that would grow between them after their return to the old world. Sowieso, back to our tale. Well, whilst a majority of Marco's men broke the Norse wreck up into its constituent timbers, those sailors with some dexterity for needlework were employed in creating a new set of sails from the large sail of Vegir's boat. Once these had been finished, the Pintolaga set off back to their base camp on the island of Tonda that lay off the coast of Lustria. Here they dry docked the ship so it could be repaired at their leisure.
What is this dry docking?
Ah, a good question, Apprentice Morelli, but one I feel is best suited to our resident ancient mariner. Master Tavern Keeper?
What do you mean, ancient? I'm only a few years older than you. I've just aged and weathered at a quicker pace. It's the sign of a full life, I'll have you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, dry docking, Apprentice Morelli? Well, this is basically bringing your ship inland for repairs and removing the risk of accidentally sinking your boat as you do so. But if you've already started conjuring images of gangs of men heaving boats on log rollers over a beach, please take those pictures and throw them out of the window into the snow. The reality is far more ingenious. First, you need to dig a large trench equal to the length and breadth of your ship, as close to the harbour as is possible. Into this trench, you then need to build some props of solid stone and lay beams crosswise over them, running the whole distance of the trench. You then make a wide, deep channel to the sea and allow seawater to fill it up. This done, you then need to maneuver your boat along the channel and into the trench before closing off the entrance. You can then use hand pumps or whatever to drain out the water and allow your vessel to come to rest securely on the aforementioned crossbeams. After that, it is easy to repair your boat without worrying about leaks or the weather.
Thank you, Master Tavern Keeper. That is exactly what my grandpapa had the men under his command do. They then spent the next few weeks conducting extensive repairs on the ship. In the meantime, events already set in motion were finally beginning to bear fruit for Marco. A week or so after the Pintolaga had been dry docked, Marco was drawn out from his tent by the familiar cries of the pterodons that bore the skinks who regularly brought food and drink for Marco's men. On this day, however, the roars of the flying reptiles seemed more numerous than was usual. Marco, as was his habit in the afternoon, was drinking with my grandpapa, and the two were already merry. They went out to meet, greet, and thank the skinks as usual, but were surprised to see the skink interpreter, Whinnipachutli, and at least 3 times the regular number of pterodons, taking up the entire central square of the Tilean's encampment.
Winnie Pachutli, what a pleasant surprise.
Greetings to you all, but greetings to you, Marco Columbo, most of all. I see you found the gem I left for you in the wrecked ship.
The skink interpreter gestured to the pendant laying on the Tilean's chest. Marco grabbed the green gemstone glyph of the lizardman god Soltek that hung about his neck and nodded cautiously.
May Soltek, the deliverer, watch over you whilst you bear it, until the day he summons you to his side.
Marco gave my grandpapa a sideways glance, and my grandpapa immediately unclasped the straps on his 2 throwing axes. This achieved, Marco returned his gaze to the skink. Whinnipachutli cocked his head to the side in an avian staccato movement before seemingly changing tack.
I come bearing news and gifts, Marco Columbo. Soon after our last meeting, the beneficent and powerful Lord Zitli ordered the artifacts that we recovered from the warm bloods of Skeggy to be returned to whence they came.
Marco nodded but said nothing, merely gesturing for the skink to continue.
Amongst the stolen treasures of Axolotl were also other treasures belonging to other cities of ours. Each was returned to its rightful place of origin by the pterodon riders of my brother, Kopaketl, and in return we received gifts from each of the recipients.
Aziza Laita and Propa.
Indeed. In his infinite wisdom, Lord Zitli has ordered that a portion of these gifts be given to you, Marco Columbo.
Aziza Laita and Propa.
A broad grin spread across Marco's face at this unexpected news. The skink interpreter clicked his fingers, and 3 skinks alighted from their pterodons and approached Marco and my grandpapa. Each bore a wide, shallow, circular basket covered with a woven lid. The first was very wide indeed, and the skink bearing it had to balance it on his back. Again, Whinnipachutli clicked his fingers, and the skink set it down before revealing its contents. It contained a long line of thin gourds around its circumference, and within were small packets wrapped in large leaves and bound in twine made from denuded roots. Marco and my grandpapa tried to smile and gave slightly confused nods at the skink interpreter.
These are a rare delicacy, the much sought after sugared zitchok crabs, and to wash this feast down with, the Lord of Itza has provided many gourds of fermented cactus wine, a speciality of the First City.
We are blessed to be so honored by such a generous benefactor.
Marco said with a sardonic, forced smile. Winnie Patchouli seemed oblivious so, and clicked his fingers once more. At this, the second skink brought forth another wide, flat basket, about half the size of the first. With another click from Winnie Patchouli, the skink revealed its contents. This basket, too, contained a selection of gourds. About a third were dyed red, another third were dyed yellow, and the remainder were green.
These gourds contain a selection of spices harvested from the sacred spice groves that lay between the city of Itza and Axolotl. They are treasures without compare.
My grandpapa and Marco nodded. This was more like it. These were sure to bring a fair price in the old world.
We are once more blessed to be so honored.
Winnie Patchouli once more clicked his fingers, and the third and final skink approached, bearing another basket, again half as big as the previous one.
Please forgive the final gift. It is little more than common detritus from the jungle, but the esteemed Lord Ziltok, mage priest of Itza, heard that you like beads and had his skinks collect a selection for you.
The skink interpreter then gave a low bow before clicking his fingers once more. With this, the skink pulled off the lid of the basket. It was full of bright pearls in a variety of hues, ranging from purple to yellow. It also contained large chunks of raw amber and something known as tagua nuts, which were seed pods that were as hard as ivory and went on to fetch a very steep price back in Tilea. Marco's eyes grew wide.
What a fun little jest. But they are so pretty. Please let me take them off your hands.
Winnie Patchouli once again gave a low bow before clicking his fingers a final time. At this, the lids to the 3 baskets were replaced.
And now, Marco Columbo, it is time for us to talk frankly and in private.
With this, he shot a glance at my grandpapa before taking Marco by the shoulder and leading him to the water's edge, out of earshot. The two spoke for some time, and my grandpapa saw Marco laugh with delight on more than one occasion, but all he could hear was the sound of the waves crashing against the beach. Above, my grandpapa noticed dark clouds begin to gather. Eventually, the two finished their conversation, and the skink interpreter and the other skinks returned to their pterodons.
Au revoir, Marco Columbo, until we see you all again upon the 3rd day of the Feast of Sotek, for the climax to the festivities.
Marco forced a grin as he waved at the skink priest and the other pterodons as they all took off. They left behind them not only the 3 baskets of gifts, but also another 9 large tall baskets. My grandpapa turned to Marco, a questioning look upon his face.
I have good news.
Marco said as he gestured at the tall baskets the skinks had left behind.
But also a bad news. We need to get out of this place. You have until the end of the Feast of Sotek to get the ship seaworthy, or we are all dead men.
Confusion spread across my grandpapa's face, just as, high above, thunder rumbled. A strong wind began to blow, and gigantic raindrops started to fall from the sky. The monsoons had begun.